small hominin. That was an effort. Yeah, there's some effort into doing it.
Carrying 10 to 20 kg natural stones, you don't want to go very far with that. It's a risk to pick up this heavy rock and lug it in your 1.2 meter tall body. Carrying that around is making you find targets for predators, accidents, all sorts of things. So it also speaks to the limitation put on by they don't seem to be going too far. They do seem to be keeping them out.
And a natural formation where these big rocks are available to the hominids. They did also have pebble-sized bobbles, like the kind to produce older ones. So clearly they're desiring these larger rocks. They're choosing these larger rocks for some reason. This probably says something about their napping technique.
When you actually look, even just flake by flake, when you consider the size restraints that the actual blocks of rock are going to put on the manufacturing process, the kinds of problems you need to overcome to successfully and repeatedly flake these pieces, it suggests a level of skill and understanding of that process that is still pretty impressive, even at this time.
For whatever reason, they chose to move large rocks. But they weren't picky about the size of the stone. They were also selecting it based on its properties, its material properties. All the stones available, they seemingly selected the hardest rock, a salt rock, used as anvil.
Having more density allowed the force that you put in with your hammer to bounce back up from the anvil and give you sort of a counter force. You have force going in from the rock you're striking with, passes through the stone into the anvil. The density of the anvil will push the force back up, creating a counter force. It allows you to break rocks in ways and also process materials in ways differently than using the bimanual method. So it seems that they have an understanding of this. They seem to at least grasp rock quality.
Make the flake tools. Flaking a rock called faunalite, which just has a much better ability to create usable flakes.
In addition, they also have a sort of preference for a rock called faunalite, which is another one of these volcanic rocks. And in the region of West Turkana, the faunalite is used consistently by hominins for over 1 million years to produce tools into the Ashura. And it's relatively good raw material. It's locally abundant. And they have a preference for flaking on this material. So we have a good bit of evidence for basalt with lots of bits of pounding on it, lending it to that anvil idea. But then you see a lot of the heavily flaked cores, as well as a lot of the flake pieces that we find are in this faunalite, this material that does have a quality of flaking than the basalt or one of these really low quality materials that just turns to dust when you try and flake it.
It's really incredible stuff. Really, it's so incredible. Let's for a moment just put ourselves in the mind of one of these hominins. They had the realization or desire to create a tool. They had to understand and know their local environment well enough to travel to that specific spot where the rock was available. Once there, they selected the rock they needed based on some sort of basic understanding of the geology, the material properties. They then carried this big rock 100 meters to the spot where they preferred to make tools for whatever reason. Make the tool, which can't happen by accident. The rock was napped in a deliberate manner. All those flakes taken along the edge. And then finally, you have to use the tool for their intended task. That's processing animal, plant foods. It's difficult. All of this requires a huge amount of thought, being able to conceive of your goal and maintain it through all these different steps. It's incredibly intelligent. It's a very smart thing to do. It's just incredible. I don't know any other way to say it. It's just incredible. I'll never look at these guys the same way again.
No, absolutely. And that's why, the technological record is so important. That's why the archaeological record has to stand side by side, in lockstep with the fossil record, because as important as the fossil record is, and it's massively important, there are certain things that it's not great at telling us about. And one of those is how the brain is actually working. What are hominins thinking? What are they capable of in terms of cognitive processes? How complex can they think and how far ahead can they plan? Those are the things that you can assume comfortably from the amount of cubic centimeters inside a skull.
I think the main reason why we love seeing primates use tools, monkeys and chimpanzees use tools, is because we can kind of see ourselves in them. We can easily imagine ourselves going through the same steps to crack a cedar. Like imagine you're just dropped in the Amazon jungle. You had absolutely no tools, but you found a seed. You're probably going to do something similar to that capuchin monkey to take it open. We just use tools instinctively. We can easily put ourselves in the mind of another creature that uses tools. We can empathize with that. We can see ourselves in that little capuchin monkey, that chimpanzee. We understand that thought process as tool users ourselves. Imagine you could see one of these hominids walking upright like that, going through all those steps to produce the stone tools that the neck. It would be absolutely fascinating. We would 100% see ourselves in them and recognize them as our earliest ancestors. I have no doubt in my mind about that. We started this talking about journey back in time, trying to find the origins of our tool use. Do you think you've hit it with Lamekwi, or do you think there's still more to go? Still more time to go back?
There's time to go back.
Yeah. There's more time, and there's probably more stone tools even further back, but also there's probably tools that we'll never find because of preservation issues. I mean, think about the swath of organic materials being used by our closest living primate relatives, chimps, today. There's no doubt that there were technologies that we'll just never know. Things that are probably critical.
You can come in. I know you've got to go to work. Very forgiving wife who doesn't mind me waking up at 5:30 to come talk about rocks. But,
Probably just thinks you're a bit mad.
You know, CarMax has a 30-day money back guarantee on every car that
Named it after.
This week there'll be no grand intro. I just wanted to say, welcome. I always try to share Gary Carter stuff, but it never really works out. Recently he was in my area, and I was tempted to go and share. It's a gathering of open-minded individuals, some old Spanish Bruins hunters, others prospectors, some Bigfooters, and all sorts. I never made it out, but I did listen to several videos he put out on YouTube. I think he does great work sharing the old stories, oftentimes from first-hand accounts, living elders that are ready to share what they know. And here I made a small presentation at the end of one of my last videos, only to find that somebody had gone out, presented a fascinating theory along the lines of what I would have liked to share. Of course, not exactly, but along those lines. A sophisticated civilization existing in the Americas, and even more excitingly for me, in my neighborhood. He tells his story. He always asks questions. In his youth, and wasn't very popular for it. It begins with the Roman artifacts found in Tucson, Arizona, in a caliche deposit. In our community, we would call this a mudflood deposit, a layer that had hardened coating everything with lime and acting as a concrete. He says a group of 30 artifacts were unearthed from the Caliche deposit near Tucson, Arizona in 1924. All the good stuff from these early time periods, and similar to the ruins in the Grand Canyon having an Egyptian root. Had not the private sector been deeply involved with this discovery, I doubt we'd ever. What does this have to do with northeastern Utah? Written upon these artifacts was found the story of Roman colonies having arrived here at the time of the known rise of the Western Roman Empire in 775 AD. Written upon these artifacts, the texts also speak of previous visits to the America as early as 100 BC. The people disappearing and returning to their country of origin at the fall of the Western Roman Empire around 400 AD. It leaves one thinking, what exactly is the Western Roman Empire? Very fascinating how he begins his presentation, and I'll try to leave a link of his talk at Moon Lake just recently, which is essentially this post here, or at least that's what he was basing it on. I think these were his notes. I have often wondered why there are certain things discovered that some put forth such a great effort to discredit, diffuse, and keep you from knowing. Clearly this guy's eyes are open, as I discovered very quickly. And here he shows us a map. Says this map was created in 1575, 62 years after one of the first explorers, Juan Constantino, underwent his land expedition from Florida to the west with Coronado not far behind. In 1540, from Mexico City to New Mexico of today. How did they manage to accomplish so much in a short time? And again, you'll remember my attempt at giving this speech at this very conference before I'd even seen this. And very exciting. Was talking about the same things. And I agree with him on what he's saying here. Florida to Mexico City to New Mexico on horse, first boat, then horse. And all these great feats and accomplishments, expeditions, building of structures, as he says here, in such a short time. Where are all the documents to accommodate all the notations on these maps? Where is all the history of these places you see on this map? And that's exactly what we're always doing, just looking at these little castles and places where, in modern times, there are not castles, and simply appearing to have civilization. And if it was just Native Americans, we wouldn't depict these castles as we do. And again, he's really following our path without even knowing of our research in this community. He's going down the same trail, here discovering that California is recorded as an island. Why? The academics claim it was a mistake. But what they don't tell you is that prior to a cataclysmic event 2,000 years ago, his research, much of California was in fact an island. But how did these Spanish cartographers know that? So very fascinating. I reached out to him via Facebook and asked for an interview or just a chat. But nonetheless, he's given us very interesting things to check out here on his blog. On this map, the Gulf of California extends all the way to modern-day Las Vegas. They want to tell us in science that this happened 250 million years ago, but he says it likely happened a mere 1,100 years ago. They would speak of our missing 1,000 years in time. The Colorado Plateau uplift is an event which is documented by several different cultures. One of the many cultures that have come here in the past, people known today as Altai-Mongolian, Hebrew, Chinese, the Indians of India, Indo-Greeks, Welsh, Scots, French, Portuguese, and Romans. Not just the Spanish, but of those in AD times. Why do they all seem to be looking for the same place? And very interesting. Again, the victors write history, but he makes an excellent point as we have many accounts of all these different people visiting the Americas, including Vikings. A certain place that appears on several maps is called Septimania, with a lake named Cupola, surrounded by 7 cities. Again, if you remember my video, where we showed an old map of Salt Lake City, or what I thought was Salt Lake City, and it said in a part of the map that there were 7 noble cities surrounding this lake, surrounded by dozens of smaller cities. And this sounded like a major hub of the old world, a lake named Cupola in a land called Calulus or Calicus. And I think this could be the Lake Omnibus, once again, we've looked at. And then he starts talking about this area here, the basin, place on the south flank of the Uinta Mountains. And he further begins talking about how people may have arrived here after the flood, the building of boats, and past civilization in this area, which even to this day is pretty remote. And he says within 40 miles of where we sit is over 100 mine locations, at least 13 cache sites, and several other things. Approximately 800 yards from here is an old Spanish mine which was blasted shut sometime after the Moon Lake Dam reconstruction project in 1938. And here is a little map. 1,600 yards from here is where the famous Dawn foot writings were found, which no longer exist and I believe have been intentionally destroyed. Roughly 650 yards from here is located one of the most famous mines in the Uintas, known as the Sacred Mine of the Utes, also known as the Church Mine, and some call it the Rhodes Mine. And this Rhodes Mine is a big attraction for prospectors in this area. About 1.8 miles from here is one of the larger mining projects of the past, but certainly it's not the largest in the Uintas, and it is the primary reason the trail running up the west side of Moon Lake exists today. Some would have you believe the Forest Service created that trail. However, it has been here a very long time. The mine workings extend another mile and a half up the canyon and have been worked as far back as 1,200 years ago. And many times I've shown you the tops of these Uinta mountains, and we've looked at the mining, which clearly looks like mining operations at 13,000 feet elevation. 13 miles from here, as the crow flies, is the largest tunnel shaft mining operation of the past. The mine dump covers 3.5 acres and is 70 feet thick. It's believed that the main tunnel travels all the way through the mountain and exits approximately 1 mile away from its mouth on the other side of the mountain. The mine is one of the most sought-after mines due to its almost unknown history. But of all the mines, it's the most lacking in information in order to find it, and its remains are hidden largely because its size is bigger than most imagination. The mine is known as the Mina del Rey, or Mine of the King. It's believed to have been mined as far back as the days of King Hiram, friend of King Solomon, in 900 BC. And everything up here is kings this and kings that. In fact, the largest peak in Utah is called King's Peak, not far from this Mine of the King that goes through the entire mountain. And very refreshing to hear somebody outside of our community confirming this ancient mining and the overgrown scars of the past. When it comes to a mine going through a mountain, no history, what else could we conclude? And here he's actually talking about these two pictures. The largest open pit mine in the Uintas, covering 160 acres, largest man-made mine dump in Utah, rivaling the modern-day Rio Tinto and Kempot. He says, I assure you, this is not a landslide, and it was not made by the Spaniards. And more mining? Absolutely. Just 15 miles from here is one of the places where, beginning in 1926, Kaiser Wilhelm, the last emperor of Prussia, was buying up hundreds, if not thousands of acres at the hand of Baron von Horst. And in short, people have been coming up to this area for no other reason than prospect. Even to this day, the biggest industry in this area is oil, big oil, drilling, ultimately a form of mining. But yet, all throughout the past, you can even hear the Emperor of Prussia buying up land out here. Really interesting. This is fascinating. I didn't see this before, but I won't say how far from here, but not far, are believed to be found two cities of ancient origin. One is believed to be one of the 7 cities on an old map showing Lake Cola. The other is noted on this map on the north side of the lake. And absolutely fascinating. And being that I live here, essentially in this lake, or ex-lake, what I can see is that these cities are the mountains now. And this biggest city, clearly depicted as the largest city on this map, is the highest point in the Uintas, as seen here. This is King's Peak. Cities were on tops of the mountains, or were the mountains. Now the lake is gone, and everything is gone, but he says he knows where one of these cities are. Not far from Moon Lake, which is situated right about here. That's it. It would be the base of the Uintas. And in fact, I think this Lake Cola may have actually been much larger at one point, circling around the Uinta Mountains, all the way into Wyoming. And when we see the old depictions of Lake Conivos, we see a city in the middle of the lake, and I think that this city would have been in it. And here we've also seen this depiction on maps, and in fact, there was access, perhaps now access from a past civilization that actually connected to the Mississippi in older maps. And here we can see that this same lake was actually branching off into Colorado, seeming very artificial in a lot of the older maps. Wow. Approximately 21 miles from here is located 2 Roman vaults rediscovered by Antonio Espejo in 1584 and 1588. So here, I guess these Roman vaults must be marked on this map. And 2 miles from here is the most important location in the Uintas. And let's just say it's not White Rocks or Rock Creek. Here's the road I think that he was talking about at Moon Lake. Thomas Rhodes was quoted as saying, there's a certain formation in which geologists would not consider, and if you can find out this formation, you can follow it through the Uintas, mine to mine. And certainly don't take my word for it, but this statement, I attest, is true. Here he even shows us a picture of the formation, and seeming like this is actually the old road. And perhaps that's why it's called the Rhodes Mine. They've just changed the name to trick us. Rhodes with an H, but rather it's just the Rhodes Mine, just as he is quoted as saying. Absolutely fascinating. And this really does look like a perfect road. If I could zoom in on this a little better. Now I'd like to leave you with something to ponder, and this is applicable to the very most important thing about this place. Atlantis. Boom! So this is a new map to me. Have you seen America depicted with these words on it before? Adland. We have heard from the writings of Plato a place called Atlantis, with his being a suffix giving ownership, and that you or something are from Atlan, or of Atlan. We know the legendary King Arthur frequented some distant island called Avalon, or as the academics have come to spell it, Avalon. However, the Welsh have no Z or V in their alphabet. King Arthur requested he be buried at this island of Avalon. We know his great-grandsons, up to 750 years later, followed in his footsteps. Were they simply following a very old trail? We know the Aztec left at a certain place in the north they called Aztlan, which was a place of 7 cities surrounding a lake. It has also been referred to as Turtle Island by other tribes because it looked like a turtle. And he says this area was breeding grounds for a giant turtle, sea turtle. And he says those of you who live in the basin can attest to the many seashells and sea turtle shells in the area. And it's true, I can attest to this. I have rocks all over my land with fossilized imprints of ocean life. Perhaps enough to show that in the upcoming video. And he goes on to tie this into the Garden of Eden, sounding almost like a mountain river. There's a large source of water that breached the surface and formed 4 heads. And he says, I've been able to discover one applicable place on the planet, the Uinta Mountains. Some might consider a lonely word in an often disregarded or ignored book. And that's all I have to share this week. I thank you all for joining me, and do have a blessed day. Please like, comment,
Comic book can be one of the best ways to learn or entertain your.
And that's what a lot of people remember. Did he die? Didn't he die? Reality, what's not? Well, I don't recall any changes with Nelson Mandela, but and there you go. Different people remember different things. You know what? It's funny you say that, Kathleen. Maybe we should call it the Barker. I remember Bob Barker passing away in the 2000s, like 2 years after he retired. Then I was surprised when Drew Carey said, "Oh no, we're going to do a commemoration show." That was an odd week for me too. Yeah, exactly. And that could be, you could have different timelines that are overlapping. It could be the reality. It could be that we're in a dream, or it could be a simulation. Everything's on the table here. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if that has anything necessarily to do with it. It's certainly been something that's been thrown in our faces, especially in the 21st century, but it could be some sort of scientific explanation like that. Or it could have always been. And I talked to a lot of people who remember it that. Yeah, exactly. And so just this one little example we have with Nelson Mandela and Bob Barker, and we already have divergent memories even if they've been here. Now, it's not to say anybody's wrong. That's why I always find it interesting when somebody remembers something different. Yes, we're conditioned to think somebody's wrong. That doesn't mean that somebody's wrong. Yeah, that could be. Let's not say there couldn't be some physical explanation, or it's just misinformation. The misinformation that's thrown at us to confuse us, because we always know the reason they want us confused. It's a simple reason. When people are confused, they tend to defer to authority. Big names. A lot in academia, and I'm sure you've seen it all the time. Possible. Many different possible. Yeah, good one there, Dennis. Good one. Oh, yes, Adam. Bring up Ed McMahon. How do you spell that again? Oh, yeah. And they still get all those lovely emails from the publishers clearing us, too. So, all right, let's move on to the next picture. Oh, current world map. This is a fun one. We're going to start with geography. Yeah. At Nelson Mandela, Bob Barker, many others, including Ed McMahon. So this is the current world map as it appears. So I'll zoom in on it first. And this is what we'll be told from our friends on the Google Earth. I always love Google Earth. This is what it shows us. The exact position of the continents, the islands, the distances and spaces between them. Oh yeah, that's a good one. And it just might. That's always something else we have to. Well, there could be. And I certainly have an 11-year cycle that I can trace back from 2023, but that's a discussion for the time. There it is, Mr. Hamster Crane. Thanks for joining us. It's all good. I understand you get a little busy, so. Yeah, that is a really awkward experience. And, you know, Jennifer, it gets further when you think about family members. All right. Well, this isn't fine the North Pole today. So. It's okay, Adam. Spelling and pronunciations were never my strong points either. I just do the best that I can. You should have seen my students make fun of me too. Kind of used to it. So anyway, back on topic. So we look at the map and we see how the world appears. And now we go down to how some people remember the world.
Interesting.
One of the big differences is the position of South America. A lot of people remember South America being directly south of North America, as opposed to slightly to the east of North America. That's probably one of the biggest differences. Another difference that we talked about in one of the videos I did was the position of New Zealand. In actuality, New Zealand is south and east of Australia, but a lot of people remember it being even more intriguing differences of perspective and geography right there. Exactly, reversal. Here's another one you may not be aware of. The positioning and the difference between the Strait of Gibraltar, the space between Spain and Northwest Africa. A lot of people remember that space being a little bit more thick. And yes, Eric, you're right. Greenland being shaped very differently and positioned very differently. So just consider this. This is just geography, something that we take for granted. A lot of people know geography very well. A lot of people just have a practical knowledge of it. And yet we can find this many differences just on this map. And there are people who swear they remember things very differently. Exactly, Juliana. And a lot of people remember it that way, and other people remember it differently. I actually remember it somewhat in between. So not quite that far east, but not that directly south. Somewhere in the middle. No, and that's a good point. Jamie, maybe I should say rimward, right? Or hubward. Yep. And you know what? It could be something with the memory. The problem is it's just a little too prevalent, and there's too many people who've reported it. So it's hard to say for sure exactly what it is. So here's your other classic example right here, where you see the difference in positioning in South America. One of the biggest ones. A lot of people who remember South America being directly North America. Just off. And another thing is, could it simply be, oh yeah, Cuba disappeared? That's a good point. And also, another one I didn't mention is the difference with the opening of the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of people remember the Gulf of Mexico being a lot more open into the Caribbean, and currently it's actually a lot more closed. Very fascinating. Anybody remembers playing that Pirates game on the original NES? Yes, I'm going to date myself there. They actually had A depicted a lot more. I think that came out in 1991, 92. It was one of Sid Meier's masterpieces. Yep. It just might be. Yeah, well, don't bother with that. You're not going to find any consistency there, I see. Good call, though. Yeah, side of Cuba. That's a good one. And a lot of people do, Kathy. And I can remember the map on the left a little bit better. So it's just very interesting, the divergence in views. And is it just a memory issue, or is there really something different? That's all something we have to consider. Okay, next one. We already talked about New Zealand, but it's even the positioning of New Guinea and how close it is to Australia, and that came up with. I need somebody out there to remember it. That came up when I was doing the exploration down in New Zealand, and I'm going to be picking up Australia a little bit. Yeah, a lot of people do remember that one as well. Okay, so now let's go to some corporate brand signs. Chick-fil-A. Yeah, maybe. Hey, I got a question for everybody. Did everybody notice a shocking decline in the quality of Chick-fil-A? That is, if you eat it after 2020? Or is that just me? Yeah, but don't talk about that Pirates movie in the 1990s, the one that sang Gina Davis's. So yes, the difference in the Chick-fil-A logo. Is it Chick with a K or Chick without a K? Again, that could just be a little difference there. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. What's that there, Michelle? What if it's a holding pattern simulation by time? It could well be. It could well be. And there's actually a movie that was made called The Mandela Effect that posited that because of the solution theory. Very good movie, but that's just my opinion. I'll give you my opinion in seconds. Oh yes, all fast food. I don't really eat fast food anymore. Oh, I don't touch it, but that's just my choice. I don't look down on people who eat fast food. Eat what you need to eat. Make your own choice. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people remember it as Chick. Is it Chick with a K? I don't know. Yeah, and I wonder if that's something else that they just try to run by us without us messing down. And that could be something quite possible. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Ann. It was a much better one. Check out yesterday. Well, I don't know, T-Fetch. Which is it? What is it really? Everybody answer T-Fetch. This is a great example. Is it Chick with the K, Chick without the C? I don't know. You know what? I can tell you what they say on the sign, and I can tell you what we're told, but what was it originally? It's a great point. Little subtle changes like this. Now, is it like Adam suggested, and then they're just rebranding logos for tax breaks? Sure. Hey, Elbow, welcome. Yeah, that could be too. Okay, none of that one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so I don't know if any of your fans of Star Trek Next Generation, but you probably noticed it, me quoting the show quite a bit and showing clips of the show. One of the things that I never remember from the show, even though I watched every episode when it came out, yes, and then even in the reruns, apparently Captain Picard always used this crystal, and he was always talking, gesturing with this crystal. I do not remember this crystal in the original show. I don't remember it when I watched it, and there are other people who don't remember it, because this crystal completely changes Captain Picard's character. Oh, thanks. What's our real story? Live long and prosper. Live long and prosper. Prosper. Sometimes you have to laugh. See, and some people remember the crystal, and some people don't, Kathy. And I'm glad you say that, because I'd probably say it's about half and half. Half people who watch the show remember the crystal. I do not. And the reason why it's such a big deal is because the crystal, using the crystal to talk, changes Captain Picard's character. Because what did we respect about Captain? Well, the depiction that Patrick Stewart gave when he portrayed, he was an authoritative figure, but he was an enlightened intellectual. Of course, it depends on who was writing the show at the time, and we won't mention the fact that the very first couple episodes he was known for surrender. And just in case anybody's wondering, yes, I prefer Captain Kirk, played by William Shatner. That's me. I still respected Captain played by Patrick, but I don't remember the crystal, because to me, someone gesturing with a crystal, it kind of makes him seem like he's a little bit less sure of himself. Now, granted, this was somebody who, had their counselor, their therapist sitting next to them as they voyaged the galaxy and conducted their business. Starfleet, not a military organization. But the crystal is a big deal because it completely changes the perception of the character. So, yeah, exactly. And it's something that you don't notice until you're really looking for it. So did it just get by me? I don't know. Hey, Samuel, how you doing? Oh, yeah, is that a new one to you, Logan? No, it's a new one to me, too, so. Yeah, I'm just not so wild about his hairstyle. I was kind of a Jeffrey Hunter. Oh, there you go. Good one, Jamie. Good one. And that's just it. And that's probably another 50-50 one. And it's a great example from pop culture. People don't remember the crystal. A lot of people do remember the crystal. So maybe we just thought it was something else. I can remember I thought he always gestured with either a tricorder or he always had a cup of Earl Grey. Yeah, exactly. And you might remember we did a little special on crystals. And it's interesting how crystals are known and thought to have healing properties, and we speculate they did. Well, thanks, Samuel. I appreciate that. So. He doesn't talk to it, Ann. He just talks with it, basically. He gestures with it. Kind of like you'd see a military officer with a point. So, like here he's talking to Rasmussen in where they had the historian who they thought was from the future, but was really from the 22nd. Knocking stuff up. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate that. Yep, I'm with you on that one, and thank you for that, uni tie. Yeah, we don't need to go there. Oh, I see. Just wait until you see the review movie. You'll get a lot of that. Yep, fractal information storage devices. Absolutely right. Good example there with old Jean-Luc. We'll move on. And another image of him actually talking with it. Now, see again, I do not remember this. Yeah, he sure did. You're absolutely right. What's our real story? Leonard Nimoy. I'd give anything to see classic new insert of episodes. I remember watching it as a kid. And know this. Oh, you mean the original VHS tapes? I see what you're saying. You know what? I have to go back and watch it. Because it's been a while since I've watched the show, and unfortunately, I'll admit I've been cheating and just doing it on streaming. I need to go back and watch my VHS tapes. Very lax of me, but granted, I haven't been home, so I haven't. So, yeah, that's just it. And that's what a lot of people recall. They don't recall the crystals. So. I don't verify that, though, Ann. Thanks for calling that out. I need to watch the original VHS. What's actually. Now, I have had this happen before. I'm going to explain my personal Mandela effects that I have tried. Just didn't go with this. That's a good one. All right. So, a little family farm here. And I bring this up because I grew up on a family farm.
If it does, we will survive the night. No one shall live until I know who did it.
You're doing that thing where you pretend to know more than everyone else.
The even says things more. You're bad. Fevers.
Table objective from drunk.
Venice, 2013, September 15th.
It's your skin. Mineral protection may not look as good as it feels. CeraVe Sheer Tint Mineral Sunscreen blends seamlessly, plus 3 essential ceramides help restore my barrier. To stay protected, looks as good as it feels. CeraVe Sheer Tint Sunscreen.
Hola, you amazing artist. It's Rafi. And today we are going to, what are we talking about, Kate?
We're talking about contests and shows and other various things you might do and how to pick them.
Yeah, we're, this actually comes from a question from one of our awesome rogues, which, by the way, if you're listening to this at home, our amazing rogues are here with us. So if you hear us reading comments, that is their brilliance being read through our lips.
Indeed.
I don't know, that sounded a little bit weird.
You say know what you mean.
Their brilliance read through. But either way, we're going to be talking about contest, like what it is that we look at when we're choosing either doing like an art contest, like an online contest, or a gallery show, or signing up for a gallery, or doing a contest locally, or signing up for a festival.
Or even considering a residency or other kinds of involvement.
Yeah, basically anything that has to do with putting your work out there, which is all that stuff, competition, shows, festivals, art walks, all that stuff. And you know, in our time of doing this, we have done
Many things.
many things, and each one of them was kind of like, I would say, whenever you're putting yourself out there and you're like, doing something that you haven't done before, it always strikes. It could strike a bit of fear in you. I remember doing my first competition. Like, actually, I'll tell you guys a story. Originally, I was like of the mindset that I don't need to do any art competitions. It's all rigged and blah blah blah. The truth is, I still feel like you don't really need to do art competitions, but as far as like your resume and stuff, any show that you do, any art competition that you enter, any of that stuff, like you're able to edit to it.
You get experience points.
Yeah, you get experience points, and you get to add boasting rights. Like, I love the fact that, you know, years ago, I've won awards at several of these contests, and a lot of times when you do a group show, they, you know, award best of show and that kind of stuff, which is why I always recommend, like, if there are any kind of, like, co-op, maybe not co-op galleries, but like, what are they called? They're 501c3 galleries where they'll do group shows, like local community galleries and things like that. I would definitely, if they're having some kind of call for artists, I would definitely sign up. And, you know, when you win, I've won Best in Show at Artel Gallery, I've won Best in Show at Luna Fine Art Gallery, I've won Best in No, I didn't win at 1060 Gallery.
It happened.
Yeah, so
You got in.
I did get in. I got into the show. So, and that's the thing, like, you get into the group show, then that's another notch that you get to put on your resume. Does a resume matter? Not really. Like, not really, but it does. You know what I mean? The way that I think of, like, artist resumes, like, all the things that I've done, is like, or even like the artist bio where you're putting in the list of shows that you've done and your accolades and all that stuff. What that does is it gives you brownie points for someone else who finds that important. And the reason they find it important is because honestly, right now, that's important. You know, like you go to get a job or you go to sign up for anything and they want to look at accolades.
It's social proof.
Social proof.
A lot like testimonials are social proof.
Yeah.
Sarah says her criteria are cost and can I get.
That's
Those
good.
are good valid criteria.
Those are very good valid. Hey, Swirly Gardner and Kim, how are you?
Esther says, I feel like I need the validation and the motivation of entering shows since things aren't selling very well right now. Besides, it would be nice to be recognized.
Yeah, social proof. And it's tricky waters. It's tricky waters because you want to make sure that you're not reliant on that social proof to be able to call yourself successful, you know, and when it comes to that kind of stuff, like with all the awards that I've won, I can honestly say that none of it really, you know, it's not like the sales start flooding in right after I won awards.
It didn't change anything really. It's nice for sure.
Yeah.
It's nice to be recognized, but as far as business is concerned, it was pretty much business as usual.
It's nice to be recognized, and honestly, it's, you know, kudos, like, I feel good when I look at my list of, you know, so I'm like, okay, that to me is showing, like, dude, I've been doing this. I've been doing this art thing And I'm not just saying that I'm doing it. Like, look, these are the art shows that I've done, some of them, because we've done so many that our list would be humongous. So a lot of it is left out of it. So I take the most prestigious ones that I've done, and I've put them on my list so that when people see it, they see, okay, these were the things I was most excited about doing in 2019. These were the things that I was most excited about doing in 2018. You know, and so then the list just kind of builds every year. I also do it that way so I can update it easily without having to, you know. Yeah, I mean, when you're doing this, there's a possibility of doing so many things that that could updating it could just become a pain in the butt.
So we're going to cover a lot of territory, but to kick this off, I want to read the two questions that prompted this.
Okay, so before you read that, I want to read Rachel's. She said, "Hello, I'm debating entering shows this year." Well, that's perfect, Rachel, because that's what we're talking about. What kind of criteria we look at. And yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Okay, so question number one goes like this. My goal this year with 2D art ideas is to win some awards of third place or higher. Because there's so many online shows now, it's easy to enter a lot of them. But how do I decide which shows? It's probably not financially wise to enter all of them. You are correct. I'm predominantly a soft pastel artist, but this information might be helpful to anyone. So this is our main question that we're covering. Our secondary question is, I too wonder about these art contests I see online. I always try to research to make sure they're real. How do you feel about sending art to galleries and then they send them back after the contest? Also, I asked this a while ago, but I don't remember your answer. I had paintings printed and they came out very blurry. Any ideas what to use them for? So that's secondary question.
That question is from Lori. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Esther, for the question.
Yeah, so I think the main thing here is like, how do you vet the shows and choose which ones you're going to go for? Obviously, cost enter is going to be a factor. Reputation is going to be a factor.
Yeah. You know, so there were different periods of what the criteria was for shows, and that kind of evolves as you go through your career and the more things that you do. In the very beginning, I want to say that we basically, our criteria was, is it under $100? I think in the very beginning it was like, is it under $50? Is it at least 30 minutes to an hour away,
Or virtual.
or virtual? And is it something that is, that I'm able to display what I want to display, right? So there were some big name shows that didn't fit into that criteria because they charged like $300 or $400 for booth fee. A lot of what we looked for was stuff that local artists were recommending to us.
A ton of what we did was through word of mouth recommendation.
Yeah, and then online events or online shows, contests in particular, whether they were magazine contests or online contests, those were things that also via word of mouth, I kind of did that.
Yeah, and you kind of look at like, do they have a social media presence, the organizer.
You do want to read that fine print because unfortunately when it comes to artists and stuff like that that's out there, there's a lot of underhanded bullshit going on when it comes to that. So like, there are some galleries out there that are definitely predatory galleries. There are some contests out there that are predatory contests. These are designed to make a quick buck off of the person trying to get exposure. So you want to make sure that it is a trusted source, right?
Yeah, and here's two ways you can go about that, right? So last year I was thinking about entering a piece of music into a music contest, online based contest. So the first thing I did was In this particular platform, they had comments from previous entries and people who were familiar with it. There was mixed reviews, as you're always going to find. Some people saying this is a total scam because of X, Y, Z. Some people saying it's a good experience. You kind of have to look out the averages there. But one of the tricks that Buffy and I have always kind of employed, whether it was a virtual thing or an in-person thing, was just shoot the organizers a question. Whether it's like, we really need to know this kind of question or an arbitrary question just to gauge what their vibe was.
Basically, we vetted them.
So basically how that worked, and usually our question was pretty easy because it was like, hey, we're two artists that are married with the mediums, is that cool? Kind of thing, and how does that work? And then we were really looking for their tone in their response. Were they snotty? Were they arrogant? Were they cool? You know, how long did it take to reply?
Were they like, you always get that vibe where somebody like replies and they're kind of frustrated because they're not there to help you.
Right.
Which is always interesting to me. It's like, okay, what's the motivation behind this competition or this contest, right? A lot of times, unfortunately, the motivation is making money. So, we're going to get so many artists, and if we promote it, everybody's going to give us, $100 to whatever. And then there are contests out there that's like, I applied to contests that were like $10 submissions from Artist Magazine or something like that,
Or an organization.
or an organization. Like that's what like if it's an art organization that you are familiar with, that's not all they do. But that's one thing to look out for. If there's an art magazine or some kind of art competition online, and that's all they do, right? Then that means that's how they make their money. They're not doing anything else to support the artist community or do anything.
There are a lot of them.
And that's where that becomes very suspicious to me. Very suspicious. So that's part of the criteria. Like, is it real? Is it suspicious? The other side of it, for competitions in particular, is like, how much is this costing me, right?
Yeah.
Because if they're gouging your eyes out, in order to, which I don't think that's the phrase, I think gouging you for gouging you for money, to enter their virtual competition, right? And I get it because sometimes they got to pay their judges or whatever like that, but like. A lot of times those prices, I'm like, no, they should not be more than 10 or 20 bucks.
It depends on the show. One of the most prestigious awards you can win in the jewelry category is the Small Bell Award, and it's quite cost prohibitive to enter.
Yeah.
But it's a big competition.
Yeah.
It's been going on many years.
That's the one that has that history, and if you see, big jewelry designers listed as their accolades, that's there's a you have to like take a look and see like does this have a reputation that is known throughout the world.
But I do highly recommend emailing any organizers just to gauge what their guide is towards you, especially we especially do this with residencies. And we have found that like the residents we consider doing, the organizers are really cool people and really willing to engage in conversation with you because they know A, that that's good for them to engage with artists, and B, that that's a big commitment to do something like that for an artist. So really a lot of it, I know this isn't like brass tacks, but a lot of it is your gut feeling when dealing with organizers.
It really is. And to be honest with you, a lot of everything that we do as artists, whether we're dealing with the potential commission or entering the show or working with a gallery or putting our artwork up in a local business, all of it really comes down to your gut feeling.
And some of that's hard knowledge because we have gotten ourselves involved, especially early on in our career, with galleries and show organizers that we didn't have a good feeling about, and learned the hard way after the fact.
I can tell you right now, exactly why I've made some mistakes like that in the past. And here it is. Desperation sneaks in as, oh, this is a great opportunity. I'd be dumb to not take this opportunity, right? Because you're thinking, if I do this, I'm going to make a lot of money. That's how a lot of people get scammed. First off, if I do this, then people are going to notice me. That's how people get scammed. If I do this, I'm gonna get this big commission, right? So like, you really have to listen to your gut when it comes to everything, and get out of your head, especially if you think that one thing is gonna fix all your problems. That's where a lot of these predatory galleries, predatory contests, predatory whatever it is, that's what they're banking on. So really, it's kind of looking at an opportunity and saying, does this opportunity work for me? Do I want to pay the fee that's involved in getting in there? How much work is it going to be? Is there extra hoops that I have to jump through? Do I want to jump through those hoops?
And also, one of the most important things with online competitions I've discovered is, and sometimes you have to dig into the fine print, how are the winners actually selected?
Yeah.
Is it through online voting of your peers? Is it a selected jury? Is a winner randomly selected? I've seen competitions where it makes it look like your work's being put for a jury, and then it turns out that no, they're just drawing your name out of a hat. And I've seen some recently where it was voted by your peers, but you could buy votes, which is automatically a red. So
you gotta look at the fine print, because they have to protect themselves legally by putting it in the fine print. If it's not in the fine print, they're going to get in a lot of trouble.
Ultimately, if you're going to enter a competition, you want to know either A, your artwork is going to go before a selected jury who's going to determine a winner, or it's peer voting, right, where your family, fans, and friends can vote for you, but where you cannot purchase votes. It's automatically you know what I mean? For an organizer to do that, that's an immediate red flag that they're trying to make money.
What are the other competitions that you can enter? Let's see, the kind of things that I've entered, that I have awards for, is a lot of times the local area will have the best of,
Local best of,
like local best of in like one of the newspapers or something like that. I am best of the coast artist of 2000 something.
I was runner up best of 1 year.
Yeah, so we got those awards a few years in a row.
And I'd like to mention that was free to enter. And oftentimes, if your area has a best of, it often is free to enter. And just throw your name in the hat, because you never know. And then ask your peers to generate some votes from you online. Ask them to support you.
I would also take a look and see if there's any nonprofit galleries in either your area or in the surrounding area where you can show your work in a physical show. I will tell you that usually has a lot more of a bang, because you're going to the opening of this food show, you're meeting people in the area that were interested in going to the opening. And you have the possibility of walking away with an award. A lot of times, especially like Cartel, I think it was like $25 if you were not a member, and then $20 if you were a member to enter the show.
These are the galleries that'll do open call to artists for a particular themed show, either monthly or quarterly or however they do it.
And the way I would look at that is to just kind of like look at a surrounding town, type in the name in search, and open call to artists.
And I would also recommend attending one of these openings as a patron just to get the vibe, right?
Yeah.
I definitely did. We both did. When we entered artwork, we went to one of the openings to see what it was like. You know, and if we liked the vibe, then we would enter. Gwendolyn said, I've entered paintings and jewelry in the state and county fairs. They were not expensive, and I won several rooms, including a best of show for a piece of my jewelry.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You see, and that's the thing, Gwendolyn. At that point, you are an award-winning artist. You can put that moniker. Is that what it's called? You could put that title on yourself.
And most places have.
I can tell you right now that that was part, and it's in my book. Like, the more, you know, at first I was like, I wanted to be able to present myself in a way that was, you know, impactful. So like I added all these things. Eventually it just got too long. So right now, when I am like posting about myself, you know, I'm an award-winning artist.
So Esther says all the contests that she's considering are sponsored by official pastel societies, which I read that and I think, okay, so they're automatically. Right.
Yeah.
So then, so you know your show is headed, so then, and what do you get? What do you get if you win? Right? So if you have to pick and choose, go for the best outcome, right? Is there prize money? Is there a feature in a publication? Is there a website? Those kinds of things. Go for the best, you know. And also, it can be a little disheartening to enter competitions that are hugely popular, where you're going to be competing with maybe thousands of. You might want to look for some that are a little less crowded as far as entries are.
The other thing to look at is who the judges, right? So like, because I've judged some jury shows and like I've judged some competitions. But also, whenever I've entered anything, I've also taken a look at the profile of who the judge is, and then taken a look, especially if they're an artist judge, taking a look at their work, what kind of work they create, what kind of work it seems that they like, and you know, and that's doing a lot of like research before entering a show. But if the show is going to cost me some money to enter, I may want to look at that and see, like, all right, does this person have an aesthetic that would cause them to like the stuff that I create?
Right, and is their taste diverse, or is their taste really, like, for example, if you had very contemporary works and the judge was mostly very traditional work based, you may want to pass on that.
Yeah. I can tell you that there are some competitions, especially in the beginning, where I entered some artwork and didn't think about that, and then looked at didn't get into the show or didn't win or anything, and then looked at what those judges, especially if they've done, what kind of things they typically let into the show. They realized that like a lot of it was very like traditional portraits and traditional landscape painting, and of course, you know, now looking at that, I wouldn't even bother entering that show because I don't have anything that fits into that. So
Or vice versa, right? If the taste is very contemporary and you're of the more traditional aesthetic, then that's very, very important. And I think that's a given, but it's not to be overlooked. Definitely, if they are willing to tell you about the people who may be judging your work, which most reputable competitions will, unless it's people's choice, that is absolutely something that Esther said less crowded is good.
yeah,
Kim
less
said,
crowded is good.
I have judged both state and county fairs, and that helps your reputation as well. So definitely, if you're asked to judge a show, not only is that a cool experience, but you can definitely put that on your resume.
Oh yeah. I've got the shows that I've judged on my resume because that's almost like a step above winning. It's like now you're being asked to judge shows, and you're like, just shows before. It's not easy because especially for me, like one of the shows that I judged was a college show, and I literally fell in love with every work of art. But there was limited space, so some of them did not make it into the show. But I also, told them that there were certain pieces that I was like, do you have an honorable mention? Do you have,
They were like, no, do we need to?
I was like, yes. I want this piece, and this piece to get honorable mentions, and I want, this is the first place piece, and this is, so like, you think about it, and like, the people that are judging the show, they're just people. So they're gonna have aesthetics, they're gonna have likes, they're gonna have dislikes, and that's part, if you're able to kind of research that before you enter the show, that's a smart move, especially if the show's gonna cost you some money. Let's see, hi, Clover.
Hey, Clover. It's not a bad idea to start with things like county fairs, local shows that give out awards. Usually somebody on the committee or local reputable artists will be the judges at shows like that. It's a nice way to get a ribbon. And Rocky's participated in many open call gallery shows locally. And awards can range a ribbon to like a really nice little mantle plaque. and sometimes there's prize money. And oftentimes with local gallery open calls too, it's been our experience that part of the prize, if you do win a prize, is that you get your own solo exhibition, which is excellent for the resume.
I've had, I want to say at Artel, I had maybe about 4 solo exhibitions because I won Best of Show.
And also at Luna, you ended up with a solo
That's
exhibition
right.
because you
Which
won an
was,
award.
which is
Yeah, I gotta get working on
And
the
then
pro.
the show I just entered had 90 submissions. That's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good number. It's not overcrowded. It's got enough.
I mean, it depends on the space. If it's a tiny little space, then 90 submissions is quite a bit. If it's a big old space, then 90 submissions is not.
Yeah, it does depend on how big it is. So our secondary question is like, how do you feel about having to send your art to a show to potentially be included and then have them send it back to you? Typically in my experience, a show will ask for a digital image first, and then if you advance, that's when they ask you for the actual art.
Yeah.
If they're asking for the actual art right off the bat, that's a red flag to me.
There would be a lot of small print that I would be reading if somebody would ask me to submit their art. Now, for local events, local events, there was a drop off and pickup. So, like, you drop off your work, and if, you get the phone call, to be in the show or not. And if you got the phone call, they said, no, you're not going to be in the show, then they would have a pickup date for it.
But for the cases where you would need to shift your work, then you want to do a little more digging into that for sure.
Blake says around here it's 120 to 170 per show for local artists or student talented. I mean, Kathleen, that's
Submissions or cost? What are we talking about?
the submissions for 120 to 170 per show. That's not bad, but it's we're talking. There's more than just doing like festivals and shows. And that's the one of the things that I want to make very clear, because a lot of people, when I tell them put yourself out there and stuff, they look at the more popular like shows and festivals that are going on, and those are usually going to be about 120 to 170 dollars.
She's talking about submissions, number of submissions.
Oh, number of submissions.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify because I'm sure we're there. If you live in an area where there's a lot of really badass creative people, it can get tricky. Especially if you're in a small area that's highly creative.
I would say,
Or a big city.
I would say though, because it wasn't always the case. Like, because Pensacola had a lot of artists, and some of the shows, because they would have their. I thought it was fun. Like, some shows were kind of designed for pastel artists at Artel, and then some of the other shows were more for like the weird artists. So when I would go in, like, some of the shows had a hell of a ton of submissions, and then some of the shows didn't. So I think really it all depends on the show. I love when galleries or places do themed type stuff.
I do too.
And so for Esther, in particular, she's talking about pastels. So like, you have the opportunity to enter only pastel kind of shows, especially if you find them online. And you also have the opportunity to enter just, art shows that have their own kind of theme that you can enter with the pastels.
Like Lee said, I still place, but I know it'd be great.
Yeah. On the other side of that, my getting mixed up, $120 to $170 per show. Anywhere between $100 to $200 to $300. That's where like local, like large shows. That's the median range, right?
Totally.
Then when you start getting to like the $400 and $600 shows, those are the ones that I'm always looking at the fine print and I'm honestly quite skeptical of because there's no reason for them to charge that much money. For the most part, a lot of the shows that we did was in the range of $25 to $50 to $100 because that's where you find art walks. Small gatherings that are being put together by a business, things like that. Small towns that are near you that they're trying to do an every Friday walk. They're trying to improve their downtown and get more people to visit. So those are the kind of things that you want to look for. And unfortunately, until you get out there and start doing shows or going to those kind of events, like look for an art walk that's maybe a few miles away from where you live and visit the art walk and see what it's all about. And even if there were a lot of art walks that we did, that literally there were only like 6 people there, 6 artists selling. We were one of them, and we'll go every month. And as that became more popular because the town was pushing it, more customers and more people like that would show up. And that's the thing, it's like, you're doing these shows and you're doing these competitions and you're doing these things not really for the income, but to put yourself out there. It's a marketing type of thing. So if you're doing a show where you're entering a competition and it's going to cost you a lot of money, well then you better get something big from that. Like a spread in a magazine that you could also add to your resume.
And if there's a prize, better justify that big cost.
Yeah, even a spread in a magazine to me is not enough.
No, because there's other ways to get it.
Yeah, there's definitely other ways. We've been interviewed in magazines and newspapers and stuff like that, and it was never due to a competition.
Yeah, we had never paid for a magazine feature. Because there's just plenty of ways to do that. Sarah said I can do $50 fees only. But, that's fine. There's plenty of opportunities at that fee level.
Yeah, you just gotta find them. You just gotta find them. And I know that every time I talk about this, people will respond. It's like, there are no shows in my area. It's like, you gotta look for it. I guarantee you that there are, especially if there's artists. There's gonna be big expensive shows, and those usually get a lot of publicity. But the smaller ones are the ones that you want to play around with, and especially if you're just getting your feet wet.
Esther says the ones I'm looking at now are 3 entries for $35 to $50. That's fair.
Yeah.
And I would also suggest look at past winners, right? They'll usually show you the previous winners. If you start to see a pattern emerging of past winners, then you might find that, oh, they're really mixed into this particular style. But if there's diversity in past winners, then you know, okay, they're looking at a broader spectrum of work. That's one thing that I look for. If all the past winners are the same, and my stuff doesn't look like that at all, then I know that there's a pretty slim chance of me taking home a prize from something. If they consider a diverse range of work in a given medium, right, of subject matter, of style, I like to see personally. So that's something to look at. There's some competitions that are cost competitive, and I know I'm not going to take first place in that because I know where my skill set is, right? I'm not going to enter that. Unless for some reason I just want to be able to say that I entered it. So those are things to look at as well. What's the skill level looking at? And what's the best winners work look like?
Yeah, especially if it's the same judge. Like if you have the kind of judges every year, looking at the past work really helps you. One of the three competitions. It happens not every year. Yamana Gold, I usually share it with the Rogues whenever they do the open submission for that. That's a free competition to enter, and it's a gold company in Canada, and they are basically buying the winner's art and adding it to their gallery. So those are all those kind of things. Like if you win first place in that, that's an award-winning thing, and on top of that, you can make some money. Now that's a competition that I know is legit because I've read the fine print, and I also know that they charge $0 for submissions.
And the diversity of work as far as their past winners is on point.
Yeah. So you want to look at all of those kind of opportunities, and and one of the things that I want to do is we have a resources page that we want to add whenever there's something like that in a local area or something that is a competition that is legit. We want to add more information out there because I know how sketchy it is when you're looking online and you're trying to find something. Like what do? You enter like artist open call for online competitions, and then obviously those pages are going to be dominated with a bunch of bullshit. If you find something and you think it looks interesting, make sure you read the fine print. That's beyond anything else. Make sure you read the fine print because you want to make sure that you're not wasting your time. A lot of people will think that it's a waste of time to do art competitions. Really, that's up to you and how it is that you want to set up your accolades. If you want to have more winnings under your belts and stuff like that. A good friend of mine was early on, like I was saying earlier in the podcast. I was like, no, I'm not going to do art competition. That's a waste of time. It's bullshit. It's all rigged and all this stuff. And really, I was sitting there talking to a friend of mine that was a portrait artist, and he was featured in a magazine, and he was, he had all these like winnings, he had all these awards and stuff. And I was like, how do you have so many awards? And he was like, yeah, whenever there's an art competition, I just enter it. I enter it with all of them. It doesn't matter, like, especially if the costs go up. Some of these art competitions are like $5 to $10, and he's like, it doesn't cost me $5 to submit some artwork, and if I get recognized or awards, then I get to add it to my resume.
Like that percentage in he was like, I'm gonna lose the majority of competitions I enter, but I'm gonna win.
So at the end of the year, like you would have, more awards, and I was like, I hate you. And then I asked him about it, and I was like, I don't know, it's a waste of time. It's like, if you've got nothing to lose, it's like, don't enter those competitions that are going to cost you an arm and a leg. He's like, but there's plenty of them out there that are legit that, that you can enter, and maybe it'll cost you $5 or $10, but, it's a chance to win. The only reason you're not entering is because you think you're not going to win.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, yep, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Especially if it's more expensive.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, when I was looking at it back then, I was thinking of entering for the prize money.
Yeah.
Right? Like, alright, so I'm making this initial investment, then if I win, I get this. So I was looking at it like that. Now, I wasn't looking at it as experience under my belt, and being able to enter something and experience that and really, it's the reason that I'm able to talk about it now is because I've done it and I've trialed and errored my way through it. I figured out what was important before I started doing it. I want to say that like for like 3 years, everything I entered, like either I did not get into the jury show or I most definitely didn't win any awards.
They're all be rejected.
Yeah.
And no awards given.
And that's the thing. Dealing with that was so important. And the reason I wasn't entering anything was because I was too afraid of getting rejected. And at the end of it, like realizing like, oh, yeah. The only way that you can face dealing with rejection and not getting an award or not getting into a show is by entering it. You just gotta make sure that financially that initial price tag makes sense to you
Yeah, and
for the
maybe
experience.
the idea is to set yourself an annual budget. This is how much I'm willing to spend annually on contests or jury stuff. And then consider any opportunity against your annual budget, right? So if a contest is going to max out your annual budget in one go, then you want to scrutinize that contest.
Yeah, you're gonna want, and so it might not be there yet. It might not be time to do it, or it might be, but at least you gotta take a closer look than just a willy-nilly.
Most definitely. As I said, another thing she's considering is not just entering contests for medium, but to enter multiple genres that fit with what she does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's something huge for me as a jewelry artist is not just to niche myself into jewelry shows, but to enter shows that accept jewelry that are not strictly that.
Yeah, you have entered jewelry as artwork at some of the art shows.
And sometimes that's like a balloon, and sometimes they're like, yes.
It all depends. It all depends on who's running it and who's judging the show. Dirty said, I'm alone. How hard is it to do outdoor shows without someone's help? It depends, Dirty. Some of the art walks that we did, it was just a table and a chair and some easels. Some of the shows we've done were canopy with reinforcement bars and things like that. So really it depends. Just setting up a small setup, you can do it yourself. A lot of the artists that we would do these shows with, some of them would set up small setups because they were doing it themselves, and then some of them did these big elaborate setups, and they were doing it themselves, and it really all depends on you and what, how you set yourself up to do a show.
It can be done, absolutely. I highly recommend bringing someone with you, recruiting a friend, if you can, because it does make it easier, but it can't be done. I want to correct what I read, that Esther had said, a good idea to look for shows outside my medium, but within my genre.
Yeah.
Just to specify what that's about. Because I read that a little bit.
Kathleen said we have 6 to 7 art walks a year, but grab the tickets now. They sell out overnight. Yeah. We once we got into a lot of the art walks that we got into in the beginning, like they were just getting started out, so like nobody, and then artists would go look at it and they would notice that there were only like 4 or 5 artists set up, and
Again, social proof.
yeah, so they were like, oh, we're not gonna, that's a dumb show. I'm not gonna do that show. We were doing it every week. So then a year goes by, and all of a sudden, like this show is like popular, like the area is booming. And now everybody wants to get in, but because we were one of the originals, like we basically had it in, and we had our spot.
And a lot of shows and markets work that way, man. If you are loyal to them when one cares, they will be loyal to you when everyone cares. And sometimes it's not like that. You'll often find, because you are dealing with people, that if you are good to them, they'll be good to you.
Yeah. And that's the thing you have to remember when it comes to all these shows. When we started doing the market, like we became good friends with, with the market managers and stuff like that, because we had been there since the beginning. So it's important to maintain that relationship. If you can't maintain the relationship, then you should probably not be doing the show.
Yeah, unless it's bottom one up for somebody.
Yeah.
And this is especially important if you're in a small area that has the potential to blow up as the art scene is concerned, and that is happening
Yep.
in a lot of places.
Funny said, I went to a ceramic show in San Angelo, Texas. 906 video entries, only 126 selected. Yeah, some of the shows are like that. The more popular the show is, the more, that's the thing. It's like, you're going to look at those numbers, you're going to discourage yourself from entering, right? Because immediately you're looking at those numbers and you're doing this initial comparison in your brain that your work surely is not as good as,
We all do.
yeah. So it's really hard when you're looking at those numbers. Obviously, it's better to find something where you're not dealing with as much competition, right? But the other thing of this is, sure, 906 video entries and only 126 selected. But what if you're one? And so you will never be one of them unless you enter the show that you want to enter.
I would say, like, I always assume I'm gonna get rejected.
Yeah, me too.
But largely,
Yeah, and that's a good way. It's like assume the worst, right, and prepare for it. And also be prepared for winning. Like, right. So if I do win, what do I have to do? Next, okay. If I lose, how am I going to feel about this? Or if I don't get in, how am I going to feel about this? And then boom, leave it there. Then if you don't make it in, you already know how you're going to feel about it. You know what? It's a fucking deal. Compare.
yeah.
And if you do get in, then at least you know what the next steps are to do whatever it is that you need to do.
And make sure that the next steps are not overwhelming and above what you're willing to do. For example, if the secondary step in a competition is having to ship your art across state lines, then really consider how you're going to feel about that.
How are you going to feel about that? Who is paying for it? That's a big
What's
one.
the insurance policy with the work?
Yeah.
All that good. Don't enter something you're not willing to commit to. If you have to fly somewhere, to be present somewhere if you win, consider that as
Yeah, there's a competition that happens every 3 years that I have entered, I want to say twice in the time that I've been doing what I'm doing, and it happens in Japan. Big competition in Japan. The entry fee is not that much, so like I enter it every year. It wasn't until the last time that I did not make it into the show that I actually, did the research on the judges and all that stuff and realized that for the most part, a lot of traditional style art. Very little like weird contemporary stuff. So I was absolutely entering the wrong stuff. So I had to look at the first prize and the second prize and the third prize for that show. And the first prize, the prizes, part of it is plane tickets to Japan and lodging, right? So I'm like, okay, this is cool. They pay for the plane tickets, they pay for the lodging. This is a big event in Japan. I'd love to go to Japan. However, it's only a plane ticket for me. So I need to figure out what it would cost for Clea to go with me. And if I do win, what are the steps are we going to take? How long are we going to be there? We still have an art business to run and all that stuff. So that's what I mean. Like, you probably won't win, or I probably won't win it. But if I do, I don't want to be caught off guard and be like, oh shit, what do I do now? So that's the way that I kind of look at any kind of competitions that I do. It's like,
or like if the prize is something you don't want to win, like there was one music competition that I almost entered, but the prize was like recording and distribution through this specific label, and I don't want label representation. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, that one, and and they had celebrities promoting this competition,
Yeah.
and when we read the fine print, I was like, bullshit.
That's really cool if that's what you want, but I don't want that, right? So yeah, definitely read that. Kim said I have a gallery opening tonight. It was $20 to enter, $60 hanging fee, and they take 25%. Is that pretty normal? That's a hard question to answer because
It can be, it can be so every gallery is different, and you have to look at the gallery. Like I said with Artel, it's $20, $25 to enter if you're a non-member.
there's no
There's no hanging fee. They don't charge a hanging fee. that's 25%. Normal art charge, I think it was 15%. It really all depends on the gallery. I understand if it's a big show, charging a hanging fee. However, a $60 hanging fee would only make sense to me if you had, you know, 20 pieces maybe that they had to hang.
On paper, I'm like, okay, the entry fee is to pay their judge. The hanging fee is to pay whoever's hanging the work, and then of course the gallery takes the commission. So on paper, it makes sense. $60 hanging fee seems high to me.
Yeah.
It's a little like gouging.
Yeah.
It does depend on the gallery.
It depends on the gallery. So like, if it's a solo show, I have 6 pieces.
So is it $10 per piece hanging fee?
Maybe that's,
Because that makes more sense to me.
yeah, maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's not terrible.
That's not bad at $10.
That's not predatory. It's just it's weird to me because I've never dealt with hanging fees.
Nor have I.
However, from doing our own shows, I know how much it can be asked.
Dude, yeah, that's a lot of work.
Hang
Hanging
on.
a show is the worst part of doing a show.
That's why the gallery that I've done that I've been in, they've never charged a hanging fee, but like I always absolutely expect them for hanging dollars.
Oftentimes we've pitched in with or taken it over completely because we want control.
That honestly, Rachel, that's the thing. It's like galleries are all different. I've never dealt with a hanging fee, but I know that it's out there. And it really just depends on the system that particular gallery has in place.
With some galleries, you know, they're going to hang your show for free, so the revenue splits are going to be higher for the gallery.
And you know, that's the thing. Like I would challenge a hanging fee, but a gallery.
If it's 6 pieces at $60, maybe $10 a piece, I can't buy that. I feel like
There are some galleries which that are commercial, they're commercial business galleries. Part of the hanging fee is paying for the wall space as well. So there's that kind of setup that some of them have, because Marty used to have that with his people. Is they would pay, basically it's almost like hanging fee is almost like a wall space rent.
they're kind of entwined.
Yeah, they're entwined. So yeah, I don't know about normal. Normal is really relative. When you're dealing with a gallery, if it feels all right, that makes sense. Yeah, if it feels all right and you don't feel like you're getting, you know, if they're on the up and up, you know that. You feel that. They're kind of, you know, sneaky and underhanded, then you're gonna feel that too. So I dealt with some galleries that did have a hanging fee, and they were sneaky and underhanded. I was like, nope,
Ultimately,
I'm hanging my work here.
I circle back to like my biggest criteria is whether I like the organizer or the person running it.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be some kind of email communication. Even if I have to think of some arbitrary question to email with just so I can gauge the response, I'm going to do it. Because it comes down to like, do I get a good vibe or do I get a crap vibe from these people?
This is important to you guys, and that really, that's like, if there's anything that you're going to take from this podcast, that's the main thing I would take, is like, just follow your gut on it. Esther says, at our co-op gallery, I pay $50 for a panel every 6 months, plus the membership fee, which is $70 a year.
That's pretty reasonable for a co-op. That's actually quite reasonable for a co-op.
It's very reasonable. Unfortunately, the game setup for some co-op galleries, you know, like, is more along the lines of the game setup for a vanity gallery. So, a vanity gallery will charge you an annual membership fee. They will charge you for the wall space. They will charge a percentage of the artwork that's sold, and they will charge I forget what it is.
there's a fourth. I know those big three: annual dues, monthly wall of rent, and percentage of sale.
Percentage of sale, and they also will have a insurance bundle type thing. Now, private galleries tend to charge in the thousands for that, whereas co-op
Co-ops are
galleries
usually
is a
pretty
little bit
reasonable.
more reasonable.
I have been in situations where I'm paying all three, right? Annual dues, monthly rent, percentage of sale, and time.
Plus time, yeah.
And
You have to work the gallery for free.
a lot of co-ops operate it so they can keep the lights on and the doors open, and I totally get that. That's the co-op structure.
Yeah.
As long as all of that is reasonable, as far as whatever's reasonable for your area and your economic ability.
And that's one of the structures, because, I mean, again, galleries are going to be run however it is that the galleries are run. We have a co-op here in town, and they don't do the fee structure that most co-ops do. So it's it really depends on your relationship with the gallery. That's why whenever we've talked about anything that has to do with gallery, honestly, it falls into the same place with art shows or competitions and stuff like that. Is you wanna that whatever it is that you are planning on getting into, making sure that you're comfortable with the agreements that are there, whether it's competition or whatever. Gives that, I get the feeling that they love
Well,
me.
that's good.
That's great, Jim.
Good. Yeah, so ultimately, you know, that it sucks to hear, like, sometimes, well, you just gotta go with your gut. Stuff. But
Yeah, some people want the brass tacks, and I'm like, that is part of the brass tacks, you know, because nothing is the same. No competitions are going to be the same. And competitions that might be great for me may not be great for someone else. And really, it comes down to how it is that you feel about entering a competition or a gallery or a gallery show or a jury show or whatever it is. You know, and there's going to be a lot of factors involved: finances, space, location, what the outcome might be. All of those things, you know, some of us treasure one thing more than the other. For me, it's always been about publicity, like putting myself out there. This is part of me putting myself out there. And it's also been about facing fears. So facing my own fears and in the process putting myself out there, it's going to be worth it to me. But then there's a financial aspect to that. You know, well, can I pay for this and not walk away from it feeling like if I didn't get this, that I got screwed over? You know, so it's like there's a lot of mental work that goes into doing this and understanding that, like, you're gonna bring in your own baggage into whatever it is that you're gonna be doing, and your insecurities, and Stickman's gonna be screaming in your ear about stuff. And that's really ultimately what's most important about entering these things. Is like that's the only way that you're really gonna face those insecurities and those doubts. And you know, educating yourself by looking at the fine print and really getting to a place where you start to trust your own decision-making process. And unfortunately, a lot of times the best way to trust the decision-making process is by failing. So, yeah, hopefully that was a good answer for you, Esther, and you know, this is just we're just chatting about really in the process of doing it, and just, you know, you just want to look closer, and you really want to follow your gut on what you feel is worth it. A lot of times, I wouldn't say a lot of times. Every time I didn't follow my gut, it was no bueno.
yeah,
No bueno.
hard-earned knowledge.
So yeah. Hard-earned knowledge. Yeah, I actually like hard-earned knowledge.
Yeah.
This was hard-earned knowledge. But yeah, so hopefully that answered your question. And this was a great podcast. Really enjoyed talking about this kind of stuff. And like, because really at the end of the day, what you're asking is, how is it that I approach this other thing of putting myself out there? You know, and it's so important to just figure out there are several different ways and different things to approach in order to really face those fears of putting yourself out there. And it's really nice to be able to say, you know what, I've entered competitions and I've won and I've lost, and you know, I've got some awards and some of them were a complete waste of time. But the only way to figure it out is to do it. And I think that that's it. It's a good place to bring the conversation to a close. And a big fat thank you to all our amazing rogues for being here,
Yes.
doing this podcast with us. And obviously, just having to begin with a conversation really makes the whole thing much more fluid and dynamic. So thank you so much for being here. And to everybody at home, thank you guys all for listening or watching this wherever you are. And yeah, I would say that that's it. If you like this, if you'd like to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. Wherever it is that subscribe button is, during our next one.